All right, boys and girls, this is Miss Suber, and I am here to do a 2-digit times 2-digit refresher video for you. In this video, we're going to refresh our minds on how to multiply a 2-digit by a 2-digit number using our traditional way of multiplying, the standard algorithm way, the distributive way, and the area model way. So we're going to get started with the standard algorithm, the traditional way. If you need a refresher, just watch this video all the way through. Let's do the example 45 times 63. All right, so we know with traditional we have to line them up going vertically. So 45 times 63, we want to make sure they're lined up. My 1's in line, my 10's placed in line. All right, so when we multiply 2-digit by a 2-digit, we want to cover up that 10's place and pretend it's not even there. So just like you did 2-digit times a 1-digit, you're going to take that 3 to the 1's place. So 3 times 5 is 15. So I put my 5, carry my 1 above the 4, right? Then I'm going to go to my 10's place. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 more is 13. I'm going to put my 3 down here. I'm going to go ahead and write my 1 too because there's nowhere for me to carry that 1 to. All right? So I'm finished with my 3. I told my students a good way to remember to put a 0 in this 1's place here to hold your place is if you're finished with the 3, go ahead and 0 it out. Mark it out, put a 0, whatever will help you remember. Don't use it again and put your 0 down here, okay? Because we're moving to the 10's place. So we are no longer in the 1's place. So hold your place with a 0. Okay. Now we're going to move on over. I'm also going to mark that out too, guys. Once you're finished with it, you can mark it out. You don't need it anymore. All right. Now we're going to go to the 10's place. So 6 times 5 is 30. I'm going to put my 0, add my 3 to my 4. Now I'm going to go to my 10's place. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 3 more is 27. So I write my number down here because there's nowhere up here for me to carry the 2. And all I got to do now is add it. I finished with my 6. I'm done. Now I have to add my 2 answers up. 5 plus 0 is 5. 3 plus 0 is 3. 1 plus 7 is 8. And then I bring my 2 down and I add my comma. So my answer is 2,835. Okay? That's the traditional way. Now we're going to do the distributive way. With distributive, I like to use 2 colored pencils or 2 highlighters or 2 crayons to kind of keep up with what I'm doing. You'll understand why here in just a second. So if you don't already have 2 colors out to use as a shading color, then get those out so you can use them here in a minute to review. All right, I'm still going to do my same problem, 45 times 63. With distributive, we're going to be distributing this 10's place and this 1's place to both numbers over here. And we're going to start with the 10's place. So I'm going to use one of my markers. And I'm going to highlight this 4. Okay, that's what I'm going to start with, okay, with my distributive property. One good thing to go ahead and do when you start distributive is to make your groups. If you have 2 digits over here and 2 digits over there, then you are going to have 4 groups. So I like to go ahead and make my groups. There's a group, there's a group, there's a group, and there's a group, okay? Now, I'm starting with my 10's place. Back to my 4. Okay? My 4 is worth 40 because it's in the 10's place. So I'm going to write 40 there. And I'm taking that 4 to the first place over here. So my 6. Well, I know my 6 is in my 10's place, so it's worth 60. So I should have 40 times 60. In my first box. Okay, let's zoom in so you can see it a little better. 40 times 60. All right, now I'm going to take it to the number that I haven't taken it to yet. I'm going to take it to the 3. That 3 is in my ones place, and it's worth my 40 times the 3 is in my ones place, so it's just worth 3. Okay? So my 40s came from this 4. That's why I like using a color to show where those 40s came from. Came from my 4 and my 10s place. And then I distributed that 4 to both the 6 and the 3. Okay? Now we're going to use whatever other color you might have picked out to use. And we're going to move to the ones place. And let me change to a color that you can see. I'm going to use orange this time. My first color was pink. Now I'm going to use my orange color to highlight the 5 in the ones place. Okay? My 5 is only worth 5 because it's in the ones place. So my 5 is going to go there, and my 5 is going to go there. Just like the 40 went in both places on top. Now, guess what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to do the same thing to the 5 that I did to my 4. I'm going to take my 5, and I'm just going to go up this time. I'm going to take my 5 to the 6. All right, so I have 5 times 6D because the 6 is in the tens place. So it's going to kind of look like the 2 groups you made on top, except your 5 is what you're working with this time. Right? I have my 5. I took it to the 6. 5 times 60. Now I'm going to take my 5 to the 3 to have 5 times 3 because my 3 is in my ones place, so it's only worth 3. I told my class earlier today, if you look at these 2 groups and these 2 groups, they have some stuff in common. They both have the times 60, and they both have the times 3. That's because you're taking this number to the same 2 numbers every time. Okay? The only thing changing is which number over here you're using. Right? I have my group set up now. Now I get to do the multiplication part. I get to actually multiply them out. We've learned a little trick that when we're multiplying with zeros at the end of numbers, we can ignore them until we have our initial answer. So 4 times 6, I'm going to do this group first. 4 times 6 is 24, but I have 2 zeros there, so I need to add 2 zeros to my number. Okay, 2,400 is that group's answer. Now I'm going to do this group. 3 times 4 is 12, but I have 1 0 I need to add to the end. So then I have 120. Came from that group. Now I'm going to multiply this group and add it to my numbers down here. 5 times 6 is 30. But we have a 0 hanging on, so we have to add a 0 to the end. Plus my last group, 5 times 3. It's 15, and there's no 0 on there, so I don't add a 0 to it. I'm done there. So I have my 4 groups answers. Now I have to add those all up. So it's very important, guys, that we're lining up our numbers. I got that one. Do 120, got that one. If you don't line up your numbers right, guys, you're going to mess your answer up. And then I got 15. Now I'm going to add them all up. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 5 is 5. 0 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 is 3. 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 3 more is 8. Bring down my comma. And then my 2 comes straight down. There's nothing there to add it to. So I get 2,835. And if you need to look back up at the top, 2,835, they match. That means you did it right. Okay, so again, distributive, you're just taking this first 2-digit number, breaking it down into your tens, and then your ones, and then you're distributing those tens to the 2-digit number on this side. That's where the 60 and the 3 came from. Then you add up all your answers to get your final answer. Okay? Now we're going to move over to area model. A two-digit number times a two-digit number using the area model. It's very, very similar to the way you did a two-digit times a one-digit. We're just going to add a little section. All right, let's go ahead and write our problem. 45 times 63. All right, anytime you do area model, you need to draw your box first. Okay, I take my first number and I write it across the top. I take my second number and I'm going to write it. This is where things are a little different than last week. I'm going to write it going down the side. So instead of having one number over here, now I have my two-digit number going down the side. Okay, I like putting a little times right there, a little multiplication sign to remind me I'm multiplying length times width. All right, to find the area model answer. I'm going to divide up my boxes. Last week we didn't have to draw a line going across, but this week you have two numbers on the side, so you're going to draw a line going across this time. Okay? Now I'm going to do my multiplying just like we did last week. I know this 4 is in the tens place, and if it helps you to do a little T and a little O up here to remind you, oh, this is the tens place, then do it. Same thing over here on the side. This is the tens place, this is the ones place, so that when you go to multiply, you know, oh, this is in the tens place, 4. That's 40 times, and you're going to kind of see where they meet, and that's the box you're going to put them in. 4 times 60, because that 6 is in the tens place, so it's worth 60. So 40 times 60 will be in this box, right over here. My 5 is in my ones place, so it would be 5 times 60, because my 6 is in the tens place over there. So that's going to be in that box. And then you're just going to drop down to the lower boxes. You're going to say, well, my 4 is still in my tens place, so it's worth 40. And my 3 is in my ones place, worth 3. They're going to multiply, and that's going to go in this box. So 40 times 3. And then in this box, I have my 5 in my ones place, worth 5. And my 3 over here in my ones place worth 3. So 5 times 3 would be in that box. Once I have my problems in all 4 boxes, I'm going to multiply them out. 4 times 6 is 24, but I have this 0 and this 0 I need to add to the end of my answer. So I'm going to circle that. And then I'm going to say 5 times 6 is 30, but I have this 0 I need to add to the end of my answer. So I'm going to circle that. And then I have 4 times 3 is 12, but I have this 0 I need to add to the end of my answer. I'm going to circle that. And then I know 5 times 3 is 15, and there's no zeros, so I don't add a 0, and I circle that. Now you have your 4 boxes completed, and you're going to take those 4 answers to add them together to get your final answer. Make sure you line your numbers up, guys. It would be a shame to get all the way down here and mess up just because our numbers are not in line. 0, 0, 0, and 5 added together is 5. 0, 0, 2, and 1 added together is 3. 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 1 more is 8. Drop my comma down here. Bring my 2 straight down. You get 2,835. That's the area model, and that matches the answer we got here and the answer we got here. So that tells us we have been doing these problems right, okay? Again, guys, this is two-digit times two-digit review. Up here was your standard algorithm, the traditional way of multiplying. Down here was your distributive model. And over here was your area model. If you have any questions, please reach out to your teacher. Let them know you need additional help. And other than that, I hope this helped you out, guys. We'll see you soon. Bye.